Rob Anderson here, running for Congress in Louisiana's 3rd Congressional District. Hello, YouTube. Rob Anderson here, running for Congress in Louisiana's 3rd Congressional District. Sorry, that was my dad joke version of hello. Welcome to Swampside Chats, up to episode 14 plus. We've been running these ever since February. A little break there for quarantine. I think we missed 2 or 3 weeks, and then we've been running every week since. We got a busy week this week. A lot going on. Much of it terrible, much of it wonderful. We'll get through it together. Hi, how are y'all doing? By the way, hey, Jason Mode. Hey, Rob, how's it going today? It's going pretty good. Had a podcast earlier, as you know, that were recorded. We'll have links coming up for. Stephen Armstrong says, Buenas noches, and back at you. And for those of you who can't see the questions, I read them out to you, so you're up to speed. This is the week the Democratic National Committee is holding its national convention, obviously, the nominating convention. We're going to get to that. We're going to talk about the Postal Service and how it is under complete threat. Hold on one second. I'm going to introduce everybody here who's in the room. So sometimes if you hear a voice come out, we try to keep it coordinated for you because the camera's pointed this way. But we got an Omni mic. So obviously over here is Claire Stagg, campaign manager.
Hi, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Ash Levesque.
Good evening, everyone.
Deputy campaign manager, and of course, social media director, Dave Langley.
Hello, hello.
And we just did some behind the scenes coordinating, and let's hope that North Korea does not fire back, is all we're going to say about that.
What? Rob.
Oh, no. All is well. All is well. They're just giving me the information I need so that if I sit out here and look foolish in front of you, it's purely on me. It's not on them. I have a great team with me. That's why we are where we are. And therefore, moving on. So we got the Postal Service, the DNC. What else did? This Saturday is kind of a thing, and this is exciting for us, myself especially, and the team doesn't know. Claire does. She and I talked about it earlier. But we have the No Dem Left Behind Coalition Gala this Saturday evening, August 22nd. It's 7:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 our time. 4:30 out on the Pacific, and I guess the mountain range nobody ever talks about. That'll be 5:30, obviously. We have an amazing collection of hosts that we're very, very excited about, of course, topping the list, Mr. Mark Hamill from Corvette Summer, and he played the Joker, and he made an appearance in a Kevin Smith movie. You've probably seen him, Mark Hamill. It's a running joke. Obviously, yes, Luke Skywalker himself is going to be hosting us. Deborah Messing will be there. Rosie O'Donnell, Christian Johnston, Brooklyn Dad, and Piper. And please, somebody tell me how to pronounce her last name. I think it's Parabo. Many, many apologies.
There's one more Deborah Messing.
Deborah Messing, yeah.
I did say Deborah Messing. But if not, Deborah Messing. And of course, there's going to be a great video clip from internet sensation comedian Brent Terhune. So go to the No Dems Left Behind site on Facebook or on Twitter. Sign up for the gala. You don't want to miss it. Obviously, since we're Democrats, we don't know how to charge for anything. So it's suggested donations. We don't want anybody to miss it because of budget. If you can afford $1,000, it gets split up amongst 11 candidates. If you can afford $1, it still gets split up amongst 11 candidates. The most important thing is we want you there because it's going to be great. It's an hour. It's going to be tight. All the candidates are going to get some airtime. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's obviously what we've been working for. We're doing emails, Facebook blast, Twitter blast. This is, I suppose, a YouTube blast and a Twitter blast on the live. So I keep forgetting Twitter. I should talk to Twitter because YouTube, there's like 4 people. Let's see. Reading YouTube comments. What do we got? Tell them all hi, wave, thumbs up from us out in the wilderness. That's from Jason Mose. Said hello to all y'all. Tristan Blackmore says hi, everyone. Okay. And then Dave started having a conversation in text. So we're just going to skip over the rest of that. That's fine.
I missed all of it.
You're allowed. So the Democratic National Committee Convention, nominating convention is night number 3 tonight. And of course, tonight will be former President Barack Obama speaking. Former presidential nominee Hillary Clinton will be speaking. And of course, current vice presidential nominee Kamala Harris will be speaking. So it proves to be an action-packed night. That's why that's coming up in just an hour, I think, is the time. So this Swamp Side's only going to be half an hour, fair warning. Get your questions in. We're going to all be, making our popcorn and watching the convention because, as we know, they really and truly speak to the people here in Louisiana. No, they don't. That's what we're here for.
Salty.
What's that?
No salty.
And then a little salty, but what we're doing here in Louisiana, we are doing, as locals, we're doing the message to the people. We align with the Democratic Party, but we tend to be forgotten out here because it is a pretty red district. So we have to fight on our own. They're giving us encouragement, but we aren't, considered a, what do you call it? A blue district. We're not a blue district, even though we are a blue state. So,
Depends who you ask.
yeah, they'll figure it out. I'm not trying to insult Louisiana. I live here. Tracy asks, have you had a chance to speak with anyone on the current Dem national ticket? I have not, no. I'm trying to think of anybody, some handlers and some races. We speak to political people, but no, Joe doesn't have my cell phone number. Give me a call, Joe, whenever you feel like.
You had a question on Twitter?
Oh, is there one on Twitter? What do you got?
Right, no, I just made a comment.
There's also a question.
Oh, yeah, fire it up.
Hi, Rob. For those of us not in Louisiana, would you tell us about your district, please?
Sure. Our district is a largely rural district with a few metropolitan centers. Not huge by national standards by any means, but Lake Charles, Lafayette, Morgan City are all cities. And the rest of the district is a lot of rural working class, a lot of agriculture. Of course, there's a lot of oil and gas industry. But our number one business here in district is healthcare. A lot of the healthcare providers are in our district. Education's up there. We have University of Louisiana at Lafayette, ULL. Do they actually call it that? Yeah,
Yes.
ULL. ULL is here. Education is high. Retail is high. And of course, there's Lake Charles has casinos, which people do come across the Texas border for. So we do get some part of the tourist industry, probably not as nearly as much as New Orleans, of course, but it's still Louisiana here. We still have crawfish and intense humidity. So come on down. It's a lot of working class folks. A lot of the,
Describe where it is.
what's that?
Like, do you want to describe the boundaries?
I can't hear.
Boundaries of your district, like.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Claire pointed out that I should point out the boundaries. Everybody, a lot of people that don't even know in state where their congressional districts are because they're so wonderfully shaped. But ours is fortuitously easy to describe. If you think of Louisiana as a boot, as it is sometimes described, we are the heel. We are the southwest rectangle that goes from Texas to the Atchafalaya Basin, from the Gulf just up to DeQuincy. It's about halfway between the Gulf and Alexandria. And it encompasses parts of 11 parishes, or is it parts of 12? Parts of 11. 10 complete and part of an 11th parish, what we call counties, are in Louisiana. It's very hot. It's very much about the food, the music, the people, family. It's a very religious district. It's 25% minority, so it's not as diverse as some other parts of Louisiana, but there is a diverse population, and I feel it's growing statistically, which is a good thing. I think diversity will help our district elect more representatives that reflect their population. A lot of our little small towns do have minority representative mayors and such. So on a local level, there are pockets of resistance against the machinations of the Republican Party. But, a lot of times we work against who industry may want in power, who the prison system would love to have empower private prisons. Criminal justice reform is a big issue down here. So that's our district.
Okay, go ahead. Just trying to see if I have another question. I thought you did.
Oh, is there another question? Answered that one. Okay. So going back to the other things we were going to talk about until somebody feels out a question. Did you have one?
The mail. We're going to talk about the mail.
Yeah, the United States Postal Service, the mail. As we know, DeJoy, I don't know what's his first name. Do you know the postmaster?
Louis DeJoy.
Louis DeJoy has been currently actively and physically dismantling the actual machinery, high-speed sorting machines from suspiciously democratic cities, shall we say, 671, if I'm not mistaken, was the last count. But there were eyewitness reports today of more being dismantled, even though he said he would suspend it. So that count may be going up. So it appears, and I hate to think the worst of my opponent, but it does appear that they are curtailing the post office's ability to properly sort and deliver mail just at a time when we may have increased mail volume with the prospect of additional mail-in voting in this November's election. What were you saying?
10% of all high-speed mail counters are being disassembled right now.
10%. So 10% of the mail capacity has just been nuked. For people who don't understand what that is, a high-speed mail sorter looks like machinery that I used to work with. It's pretty much what it sounds like. But it does automated sorting by zip code at a rate that handles a far greater volume than human hands could alone.
35,000 parcels per minute, I think.
What?
35,000 parcels per minute. These are big $1 million pieces of machinery. When they're dismantling them, I saw pieces that fill the parking lot. These are giant pieces of equipment. These aren't like they're taking out a little postal scale and they're smuggling out. We're talking about a very large percent, 10% of the United States, one of the biggest, wealthiest, industrialized nations in the world. 10% of our mail capacity has just been nuked in the last week because a lot of people were pissed off about a woman's emails. Your post office is under attack. This is real. This is not partisan squabbling. I'm not going to yell at the president anymore about it, but we have to stand up. We have to act. You have to let your representatives know. You have to speak. We're out here speaking, but I don't speak for anybody yet. I'm not elected, but social media, we're doing a video right now. It's running on cable and it's running on all social media, of course. Get out, buy stamps, support your post office. At this point, is that actually going to make a dent? I don't know. It can't hurt. But they keep assuring us they're not dismantling the post office, but they are indeed dismantling the post office, and we need to work on that. All right, I got some comments I'm going to read here. I learned from a family member, a retired U.S. postal worker, this week that the United States Postal Service handles approximately 450 million pieces of mail per day. And that sounds correct. Considering the population and considering the amount of flyers that Clay Higgins sends out alone, I think takes up a large portion of that. Given the misinformation distributed by the current administration, this seems to mean that we could easily handle all votes via mail, even if every one of our 330 million citizens voted by mail. Well, true, and a large percentage of those are not of voting age or legally able to vote, but I think the number is around 220 million registered voters, something like. There's certainly hundreds of millions, and of course, yes, we could handle that even if everybody voted on the same day. And if we didn't have early voting and drop-off boxes in some major cities, and obviously you can always drop it off with the clerk, check in your local jurisdiction. There's always a way to drop it off in person. You don't have to put it in mail, but whatever you do, they're making it hard for you to vote this November. That much is clear. That's any objective view. They're not making it easier to vote. So vote. They're telling you you can't, so you get out and do it. You need to, and vote blue, please. Otherwise, you won't be getting wonderful chats like this every week anymore. Let's see. Retired postal worker here. If there's anything about the current stupidity happening at the USPS, I'll be happy to clarify whatever I can. Great. So if y'all have any questions, I'm going to run it by Stephen, or y'all can chat amongst yourselves there. Will be protest marching here in Providence this Saturday. I heard, to save the Postal Service, I heard of nationwide marches being organized this Saturday. I know it's short notice for a lot of us, and obviously we have an event Saturday evening. But if there is something during the day in Lafayette or Lake Charles, I'm sure it'll pop up. We will share that information with you. I haven't gotten anything on it yet, neither of you. So keep an eye out. We got to stand up for our postal service. We're unambiguous about that. It's an American institution. It's spelled out in the Constitution itself. This is not up for debate. It has become a political issue because of the party pushing it. It's other than that, they talk about the postal service losing billions every year. Well, sure, but that's because it's not a business; it's a service. And if you think private industry like FedEx and UPS are going to take that over and save money, you're dead wrong. They're just passing on the cost to you. Did you have a question over there?
Somebody said, what does your district need that your opponent's not providing? So maybe-
Oh, a lot of things. Representation, first and foremost, for his district. Our region tends to be a little red, and he got in on the Trump train, and we're not going to address that right now. But the point being that he wasn't really qualified to be a congressperson when he came in. He was picked by a committee to run based on, social media image and ideology. And he hasn't brought anything to this district. And a large part of that is, one, he's not extremely competent at the job. For him, it's a gig to lead to a reality show. And for another, with the Democrats in the majority right now, his voice in the House matters not at all. He's irrelevant. And certainly there have been no big promises fulfilled. The I-10 bridge over the Calcasieu River that he's been promising since he was elected is nowhere closer. Now they're saying after the election, they promise if you vote for them, they'll bring you a bridge. And if you believe in that, I have a bridge to sell you. That pun just works for
I wouldn't buy
that.
that one.
And what else can I bring? Honesty, integrity. I mean, you look at my past, you look at his past. I've never beat a suspect, whether in uniform or not. I've never driven a police car to a convenience store and bought a case of beer on duty.
Voted to take away people's health care, Rob?
Right. I've never, nor would I ever vote to take away people's health care. I would never vote against the Violence Against Women Act. I would never do a lot of things he does. What I would do is try to bring things to my district to help it. I want to bring education, infrastructure, and healthcare. That's our focus. That's our platform. That's what we're here for. It's not for political ideology, and it's certainly not to get a reality TV show. So, let's see. Any new comments there? Would you be willing to put Bobby Jindal in a headlock and give him a noogie? Sure, and I'll even do it on pay-per-view. Actually, that one would be free of charge. Bobby Jindal, for those of you who don't know, sucked at his job. He was a two-term governor who left us $1 billion. Was it $1 billion?
Yeah.
I think it was like 900 million. It was
Just shy of
shy.
$1 billion in the deficit. The budget deficit is last year. He cultivated and then destroyed the Louisiana film industry. Half the state was off of healthcare. He was a train wreck because he went and ran for president.
It was a train wreck first, and
Well, he
then
was a
went to
train
run
wreck who
president
ran for
because-
president. Wrexham.
Tan, rested, and ready. Remember that?
Dan, rested
What?
and ready.
Tan, rested, and ready. Bobby Jindal for president.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Bobby Jindal is not popular in Louisiana, even amongst Republicans who try to disown him. They wish they could disown him. But he's still out there making commentary. I saw him making some snarky tweet the other day.
Of course he is.
Bobby Jindal, of all people, you should take all the seats. You're done. Your 15 minutes or hurt a state. So moving on.
Yeah, that's all the questions.
What was the third thing? We covered the gala, we covered the post office, and the convention. Not much we're going to talk about it because we're going to watch it too. Obviously, I made my decision yesterday. It's official. I am voting for Joe Biden. That's a joke. I'm sorry. That's an in-joke because I said I was for him like 6 months ago. So yesterday, after Trump did something stupid again, I said, yeah, it's official. After that, I'm voting for Joe Biden. It was a humorous tweet. That's all of us. Rob, kids are watching. My son just asked, kids are watching. What is Rob's main priority? I don't have one. I have three. Well, actually, main priority is bring the people of Louisiana a decent representative, somebody who will actually work for the people. That's my main priority. That's what we're selling. Accountability, accessibility, like this. Every week we're here doing town halls. If elected, we're going to be doing constant town halls. Right now, my cell phone's kind of out there publicly listed for the campaign, and that's fine. I answer my own phone. In the future, I imagine I'll have an office and they'll screen some of those calls, but nevertheless, you can reach me on Twitter. You can reach me on Facebook, email. We are very accessible. We absolutely respond to every message we get. Claire, I think, keeps up with her emails pretty well.
And yours.
And mine. It's true. Ash is constantly fielding all the material requests we get. And Dave has kept run ragged on Facebook and Reddit.
And info at.
Right. And in the info portion of the website, I mean, yeah, we got a staff for a reason. We're here to work for you. That's our number one priority. That's not going to change. If we get elected, it just means we have more resources and then we can actually help people and get things done instead of saying, well, you go look at this resource or that. Now we're going to be in there in the trenches for you. That's what we're bringing to the table in Louisiana's 3rd Congressional District.
Perhaps for this guy's kid who's watching and asked what your priority was there.
That is.
Something a little more tangible for his
Oh, more
I was
tangible.
thinking the same thing,
I'll be a congressman. You can get on the phone.
Okay, cool.
Soundbite.
Yeah, fair enough.
You are well steeped in all the issues, but if elected, what are the top 3 issues, improvements you'd focus on the majority of energy on? Okay. Well, then I get to talk about my platform, which is the GROW Act, education, infrastructure, healthcare. Those are the 3 main things. Those 3 things together, if we raise up the level that Louisiana is currently at, specifically our district, but the entire state and the entire energy producing Gulf region, better education, better infrastructure, better healthcare, it becomes a more attractive place for business so that we could start attracting 21st century business here and get 21st century jobs for the people in our district. We need Wi-Fi in the worst way. The region I live in just got Wi-Fi last December, believe it or not, internet. And we're talking DSL. We're not even talking about cable or fiber optic out there. So there are parts of Louisiana that are just not quite first world here. We do have a great pilot program right down the street from Dave. Actually, he was, 100 yards short, you said?
300 yards.
300 yards short of getting the LUS fiber.
Tantalizingly close.
One of the greatest, high-speed internet programs in the country, developed by LSU, developed with your tax dollars, and absolutely is a model for the rest of the country right here in Lafayette, ended just down the street from Dave's because we're not in Lafayette, we're in Broussard. But yeah, so Dave feels pain, but you do have high speed, you have cable, right?
It is cable,
The
but
Wi-Fi is good. Look, we're bright live streaming all this stuff at the same time.
that's true, but we're kind of like maxing it out right now, just FYI.
Yeah, we got like 5 things
You know
going.
what? I live in Lafayette. I don't get it either. So.
Oh yeah,
Just
exactly.
saying.
So not everybody's wired in, but LUS fiber is a model, and of course, the first thing the Republican, city council tried to do is try to privatize. But it's like, okay, it's working. Let's break it. It's a Republican model.
That was all under the table though, and everybody protested.
It was quite out in the open. They tried to do it under the table. Everyone was like, no.
They were just bad at doing it. On the
Yeah, they were
table.
really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Sammy, a quarter mile from fiber at LUS for 6 years. So yeah, I mean, it was a great program. And that's the thing is when we talk about these things in Louisiana, we're not talking about science fiction. We're talking about taking models that work and just stretching it out for the entire state, specifically starting in our region because I want to be the congressman for the 3rd district. But, 4th and 5th, everybody can use this program and we can sell it to other states. We're really good at it. Look at this, and government run things never work. Well, yeah, they can if you can keep the politicians out of it. We want to promote infrastructure. We don't want a bridge named after, Dave probably wants a bridge named after him, but I don't want a bridge named after me. What?
That'd be obnoxious.
The Longlanay Bridge.
Yeah.
I mean, statue maybe.
A statue. Okay.
Well, we'll see about all that. But let's shoot their question.
Yeah, got some questions from Twitter.
They're kind of one and the same, so I'll just give you them both. How has COVID affected your district so far, and how's your healthcare system holding up during the pandemic?
Okay, those are kind of intertwined. Our district, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, led the nation per capita.
Yep.
We were right at the top. We were hit early on, mostly in the New Orleans area, and it spread out in March, of course. Then it lulled a bit. Then, of course, everybody got lax and didn't wear masks. And then we led the country in per capita, in specifically here in Lafayette and Lake Charles, Calcasieu Parish over near where I live. It did not overwhelm the healthcare system, but if I'm not mistaken, came right close to. ICU was about full, and they were starting to look at what they'd have to do for secondary things. We had a fall off in cases recently, 640 new cases yesterday, which is a fall off, believe it or not. But so we're not out of the woods by any means. Please, when you go out in public, wear your mask, social distance. I don't know why this is politicized. Please stop sharing this virus. We have one of our team has a family member right now who has COVID-19 and is in quarantine. I'm not going to throw anybody's privacy under the, but nevertheless, it is real. It's here. Please do what you can to stop the spread so that we can get under control, so we can get our kids back to school, so we can get our country back. You got to help us out. And if you still have friends who are saying it's a hoax, don't hang out with those friends. Get better friends, get new friends.
Yeah,
Did I
just
answer the
as a
question?
point of personal privilege, please wear your freaking masks, because my older brother is a nurse and now I can't even take care of people because he has coronavirus. And so, think about how you take a whole nurse or several at a time out of being able to do their jobs caring for other people with coronavirus for 2 weeks when you don't wear your mask to the freaking grocery store for 15 minutes. So
Yeah, it's not hard. I every time I go to a store, I wear a mask, and luckily these days, about 75% of the stores that I see are wearing masks. The occasional, but at gas stations, convenience stores, I don't see them at all. So how it's still spreading. People aren't taking it seriously until it affects them personally, and that's an exponential process. If everybody gets affected personally, we're at the problem stage, because then it is a full blown, out of control pandemic. Where are we tracking in the polls against Clay Higgins? We do not do polling, have not done yet. There are 4 people in this race. There are 2 that are noted by the media as being the front runners, being the incumbent, and myself, and I'm not going to mention the other 2. They can get their own social media. Thank you very much. And we've talked to some people who talk to people who do polls, and so far everything is gratifying. They don't really do polling down in Louisiana until we start getting national attention. So you might start seeing them soon, because we are catching attention. We are making waves. Currently, right now, I'm sure we're running from behind. That's how we're going to run right up to the end. We're going to run as if we're chasing. What's that?
statewide poll
Statewide.
for today.
Is there a statewide? Oh, yes. Okay. Claire reminded me.
Take it with a grain of salt. We have mostly partisan polling firms down here. So
Right.
This was a Democratic polling firm, but I think it had
Biden almost within the margin.
Biden within
7
or 8%.
But the margin's 5.
That's considering that Trump won the state by 20 points
Right.
last time. It was a nice little swing.
What that, if you didn't pick that up, I don't know on both mics, but there is a partisan polling company. So as Claire said, take it with a grain of salt. However, Biden is polling much, much closer in Louisiana than did Hillary in 2016. They had him at 7, which means you could probably presume 9 or 10. But considering, as she said, Trump won the state by 20, that may not, Trump probably is going to win Louisiana. We apologize on behalf of Louisiana. I'm sorry. He's probably going to win Louisiana, but that bodes well for down ballot candidates such as myself, excuse me, such as Adrian Perkins or Antoine Pierce running in the Senate, some people who get some statewide attention. Ryan Trundle's running in the 4th. He might get a boost up there. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head. I'm not excluding anybody. Sorry, there's a lot of people running and I don't memorize everybody. I didn't forget my secret Dakota ring. I'm not insulting anybody. That's all I can remember off the top of my head that I'm actually going to mention. And in, every man for himself down here, but those are Democrats. And if they get a boost because Trump's terrible, then, well, maybe we'll get a perfect storm. We're running on a lot of things this year, not the least of which is a completely incompetent and probably criminally incompetent administration, especially with the news from the Senate committee about the. Anyway, now that your ads are running on local media, have you noticed an uptick on follows on social media or email contact from your website? Yes, and hell yes. Since we've been running, more and more people are seeking us out. Our Facebook audience is expanding. I don't know if you call it exponential, but it's getting bigger.
It's not
every day.
exponential, but it's
It's
going up at considerable margins.
Yeah, it's Facebook is going up. Obviously, I was already had a fairly widespread following on Twitter, and that's not the main social media they use in this district. I think everybody who lives in Louisiana already followed me on Twitter, basically. But Facebook is our indicator of how the local interest is growing, and that is going up a lot. And of course, website activity is going up. So yeah, advertising is reaching the people we wanted to reach. As we, continue to campaign and hopefully get more and more funding. Thank you all for your donations, by the way, if I haven't said that already. Everybody is supporting this campaign. This is it becoming real. Every time we raise more money, it goes right back out into media. We're dumping it in local media, and obviously signs are out, and we're getting bigger signs and a slew of them. We just talked about an order for 100 4-by-4-foot signs to blanket the district. One, because I really thought the sign design was cool, and two, just every time we say a Higgins sign, we'll put one next to it without. No. Claire said no. I don't think I get. I probably won't get the budget permission from that one. What?
You want to go grab one?
Oh yeah, you get one. That's right. They're right here. I forgot. Dave had us talk about. I need that yard sign. How do I make that happen? There's a question on YouTube just for you, Ash. Dave's gonna walk behind, and you'll see the massive 4-by-4-foot sign.
Those are my favorite ones.
Yeah, those are the ones that really look the best out there. It's got 25 on the ballot. There you go. You got it. And we should actually put that there as a backdrop. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And you can see the scale because Dave is taller than 4 feet.
Dave is taller.
Thanks, buddy.
Just.
Thank you, Vanna White.
Well,
It's crooked.
now it's crooked, but nevertheless, they get the idea. It's
a nice sign.
It really
It's,
is.
quite large.
I love that design. The logo, obviously, we had from the 2018 campaign, but the rest was redesigned lately. It's big. We got a bunch of them out today, and they just really look good out there. And Jason Moe said, "Hell yeah! Requested one already. Can't wait." Oh, then you're definitely on the delivery list, which is happening the next few days, as we discussed. Signs are going out. I hit Sulphur and Lake Charles myself the last couple of days. I'll be back in Lake Charles tomorrow, and obviously we're going to be in Lafayette, Broussard, and all areas. Yep, then there, Ash got you. And of course, don't forget your signs. I gave all yours out. If that's what you mean. All yours went out, and that was just the big ones we have left. And I think we're at 7:30. Yes, we are. If you're in district, yeah, make sure he's in district. Well, he said he's just outside the LSU.
My sentence before was blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Any questions? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Otherwise, we're going to go cook some food and watch the DNC convention. You're going to have a great week. We're going to make it through this. I know the whole post office thing sucks right now, but it's one of many things we're dealing with. Please don't forget to tune in to No Dem Left Behind Gala on Saturday. You won't be disappointed. It's going to be Mark Hamill. It's going to be Rosie O'Donnell. It's going to be Deborah Messing. It's going to be Kristen Johnston and Brent Terhune. And we haven't even seen a preview of the video yet. He's doing a little video skit for us. So this is it's a unique event, and we're really excited about it. Obviously, because I mentioned it twice in a very short Swampside Chats. I would have done half an hour just on the gala, but then I got to save something in the tank for the gala for you. So thank you all for being here. Obviously, we'll be here next week. Hopefully, have a special guest who said she was going to watch tonight. A local. We wanted to get a local on to talk about politics, something new for you, get people involved. Let you know that we are just grassroots candidates. We are not intimidating. We are just normal people. Or at least they are, and they keep me from being too weird, too eccentric. Thank you very much for your time, and y'all have a good Wednesday night. And make sure to catch Obama coming up in just about half an hour. Talk to y'all later.